What is up, everybody? We're back to mock again. I'm Pierre. He's Chris. I think it's been too long since I've said that. But y'all know this is the end game. We're here to draft. And I know we're already here in the chat, or some people are dying to get in there. Well, the link will be posted in just under 1 minute. But first, let me tell you, you're saying, how are these people already in? Did they post the link already? No, but yes. The link was posted. If you are in the Discord, if you join flockfantasy.com/endgame, and you'll see that link scrolling down below in the ticker, and also it's in the description. That is where we are now housed for the Discord server. A lot of you guys are already in there, but also rankings, articles, bonus content, including videos and live streams, and the link to get in this mock ahead of time so you don't have to wait and scramble. You just set it and forget it. So you see some of our guys already in there. What's up, Keith, at number 2? Joe's in there again. Let's hope Stomach Worm shows up this time. And then Nate, as always. I gave myself the 1 yesterday, so I felt guilty. Now I'll take the 12th spot. Well, let's see who else gets in. So let's do it.
All right, really quick though, I just want to check. So I see not so silent majority saying he's signed up, but he doesn't get the links.
Okay.
So if you're seeing this, if you're already in, if you already joined flockfantasy.com/endgame, you've already paid for a subscription, not just joined, but paid for an actual subscription. Message me on Discord if you can't figure it out, and I'll make sure you are linked to where you can just get it in the channel directly going forward. So let me know if you've done that. Anyways, wanted to get that out of the way just in case.
Yeah, and Nate, also, if you have any questions there, especially about Discord, Nate's our guy. He's the Discord master. So if you're in and you're a member, you got a subscription, there's a specific channel for that link, and you'll see that link, and that's where he gets it, and everyone gets it. So here we go. But again, just shoot us a DM, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, and because Not So Silent is saying, yes, he paid for a year. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, yeah, if you go in the join now, but also real quick, if you can do it in like the next, let's say like 2 minutes, because I know we want to get drafted here. If you can message me on Discord right now in the next like 2 minutes, I can give you the direct link and you can get in real quick. If not, no worries. We're going to be doing plenty of these.
Yeah. It's a good time to remind you, by the way, we don't just draft once a week. Draft usually about 3 times every week, and that's throughout the entire preseason. Yes, we have been doing fantasy football mock drafts since the Super Bowl ended, and we'll continue to do them until week 1 of the regular season. So plenty of chances to get in there, but again, you want to make sure that you have 100% chance of getting in. Get that link early. That's the way to do it. And again, suggestion, do it now before everyone else joins, and then you don't have that guarantee because pretty soon they'll be filling up before we even get online. This is also a good time to remind you, if you want to know when we go live, it's usually the same time, same day every week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. But hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Subscribe if you like what we do here. Trying to get you guys ready for fantasy football season and an early sense of some ADP even before the NFL draft.
Oh.
Much agreement here, Sam. Long overdue. We want you in there. We want you in all these drafts. I know you're usually in here, but yeah, definitely.
All right, he's saying it won't hold us up. We'll do it after the draft. No worries. We'll do it after the draft. So here we go, guys. Here comes the link. We're already half full. We got 49 people online. If you get in, congrats to you. You're Anthony. You're awesome. All right, 3, 2, 1. Good luck.
And there you go. We're ready.
All right, let's go. I know you've got a sorry, messaging somebody else who tried to sneak their way in, I think. I know you've got a baseball draft later, so we better get this going.
That is right. We're full. Don't need to advertise that draft. No more signups for that one. We got our 12 already. We're good to go. But it doesn't hurt to give another mention of the fact we do have a baseball YouTube channel now, Fantasy Endgame MLB. Check it out if you like baseball, or if you've been waiting your entire life to start watching baseball. This is a good time to do it. Stinger said he did not get in, blaming it on the computer. That's the classic excuse. No. Stinger, you got to let some other people dominate these drafts. You had one of the best teams yesterday for sure. Definitely one of the top 2 or 3 teams. So
Stinger usually gets in. He's 14. He knows how technology works. He knows that he can get in. But I want to bring this up. So Keith, on football topics, how worried are we that Saquon holds out? Well, if you go back, way back to one of our first videos that we did in the offseason, we did offseason predictions. I predicted not only the Giants would franchise tag Saquon Barkley, but that he would then hold out. I think it's a real possibility that he holds out, or at least that he threatens to hold out, and that we start getting closer and closer to the season, and he's like, I don't know if it really is beneficial for running backs to actually hold out, but I think he will start threatening to.
Yeah. All right. What did you take? You took the 8. Wow, Cup falling that far and below Lamb. Don't usually see that. That's good value there.
It is half PPR. I didn't have time to say this, but I have it up there on the thing. 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 2 flex, half PPR.
Okay, so that's good to know too. Yeah, I'm glad we mentioned that now, guys. It's only 2 receivers required, but 2 flex spots, half PPR, mixing up a little bit. I'm not honestly that worried about Saquon specifically because we haven't heard a lot about him wanting this monster deal, being unhappy, wanting out of New York. And New York is a team, I think they've seen what they can do now with Dayball as coach. They're going to do what it takes, I think, to keep him there because they know they need him. I'm not sweating that. Honestly, I'm not going to bake that into my ADP at all. Now, I don't have him as high as, 6 overall, but, I think he's early second round worthy. All right, so we're going to do, yeah. All right, I guess I'm taking the same, you know what, maybe I won't. It's going to take him the same duo that keeps going here, but maybe I won't. I'll go A.J. Brown. And I'll stick with Devontae Adams.
All right, over Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, I know Ale was happy to see Garrett Wilson fall there. I still have faith in Adams. I still think he's first round worthy. And then Nate taking the duo that you had last night, JT and Bijan.
It's a good duo, especially in half PPR. It's a very good duo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already had CMC, Eckler, Barkley gone, JT, Bijan. Wow, now Walker. Gotta be honest, I don't love this spot.
Yeah, you're not dead middle, but you're close enough. Close enough just to be annoying.
In half, I'm gonna go here.
I think that's good. I mean, those first couple of tiers of elite running backs, it doesn't ding them that much to go down to half PPR, even if the ones who are great pass catchers. So I think Jacobs, it's a fine pick.
Yeah, I mean, it was between him, Pollard. I'll wait till they come out. I don't want to say them before they're drafted.
Yeah.
Waddle was one of them I was thinking about there. Cup at 8, yes sir. Loving that value. Value.
I don't know if you saw this one. Mentioned it earlier. How to get in the Discord. All right, so let me say it again. Those who just joined us or maybe missed the very intro. So we are now housing the Discord server that we've had. That's huge. I mean, we had toward the end of last season, almost 1,000 people on the Discord. So flockfantasy.com/endgame. Go there, sign up. You can do a 2-day free trial, no obligation. And if you do sign up for a subscription, 30% off right now throughout the preseason, at least for now, as long as we can. So flockfantasy.com/endgame. Link is down below. Check it out. That gets you in. Once you join, you'll be in that server, and then we'll set you up. There's some instructions a little bit higher in the chat. You just have to join for that mock draft channel. But that's it, guys. That's where we're going to be and house all our content this coming season.
All right, and people are saying I had it set. I thought I had it set to there. Fine. People are saying it's set to 3 wide receiver. Whoops, get that off there.
Easy fix. Easy fix.
There we go. I thought I set it to 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, but I must not have hit save. But it's fine.
Yeah, on Sleeper, you have to hit that update button. I'm not taking this bait. You want to answer this one?
When Tua gets hurt, am I worried about Hill and Waddle? If Tua gets hurt, yes. But I'm not as worried about it now because the Dolphins picked up Tua's 5th-year option, which is like $24 million guaranteed. Guaranteed. I don't think they do that if they feel like there's significant risk. So for me, I'm back treating it like Tua's going to be the starter all year, and Hill and Waddle will be great. Yeah. If he misses time, and we've seen it in the past, Waddle probably takes a big hit, and Hill takes a bit of a hit.
I mean, the other thing is we've seen the Dolphins basically show they're not doing anything at quarterback, that they're not worried. What they did is they got Mike White as the backup to replace Teddy Bridgewater, which says more about Skylar Thompson than it does about Tua. Shows that what they saw from him in that playoff game and late, last season didn't inspire hope that he's quarterback of the future. So they're obviously not going to add another quarterback. Tua's the guy. It's funny too, and I say this after just drafting Devontae Adams, but why don't people say this about Jimmy Garoppolo? Dude is hurt every year. Like Tua last year had the issue. Jimmy Garoppolo is hurt every year for multiple games and entire seasons. But we're like, oh, well, they have Jimmy G at quarterback. They're good. It's like, what? How about when that guy gets hurt? It'll be like week 3. Okay. Now this is the best take I've seen probably ever this year. It's true. If you're sitting pretty at number 1, it's like I'm gonna rest my guys. That's it. I'm all about that. Love you, Nate. All right, good point. I mean, yes, Anthony, that is a good point. Concussions are a little scarier in the sense that it's more career threatening, right? A knee injury, many guys come back from. But in terms of fantasy football for one season, does it really make a difference what the injury is? You know what I mean? What matters is when they get hurt, not what the injury is. So for his career for Dynasty, yes. And look, for Dynasty, I actually, and Chris knows this, I traded away Tua to Nate last season in Dynasty. That's me trading Tua away because I'm worried about it. In redraft, I'll take a chance, but yeah, I do get that it's different.
Yeah, I think the worry with the concussions is they're more like the chance. Oh, what I thought I was gonna take DK Metcalf there, but I looked. I'm like, oh, he's already gone. Anyways, I think the thing with the concussions, it feels more like somebody gets a high ankle sprain or gets a hamstring strain or something like that. You don't like those are things where you feel like okay, they're recovered, it's fine. They had a whole off season to recover. Concussions, you start to worry about like they become more recurring. It doesn't take as big of a hit as it used to take to give them a concussion. But again, I was definitely nervous about Tua until the Dolphins exercised his 5th-year option with all that fully guaranteed money. Because I'm like, okay, I don't think there's no reason to do that if you're the Dolphins and you're worried that health may be an issue.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I fully acknowledge the risk. I mean, there's obviously risk, but it's not like he's the only quarterback who has had injuries. And again, this isn't something that. Now, hold on. Let me make my pick before I keep ranting.
I know this is a problem. See, I'm also like trying to help somebody on Discord with the drafts, but it's like, and then you look, like I said, I look up and I'm like, oh, is Metcalf there? I'm like, oh, he's already gone. Okay, I guess I'll go Etienne, and then Metcalf goes one pick after me. It's like, oh, yeah. He was still there.
Yeah, it is different. It's definitely different. Like you said, a much higher chance of recurrence. I mean, quarterbacks get hit all the time, go to the ground. Definitely risky. Fully acknowledge that. It's not going to scare me away from him in fantasy because of his ADP. This is a guy who's being drafted as the last quarterback or not drafted at all in a single quarterback league. So if you wait on quarterback, you take the guy like Tua who has that upside as opposed to, like a Geno Smith who will be fine, but isn't going to have as many boom weeks, as Tua has had and could have. So worried about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle? No, I'm not worried about them. So is Adams in trouble then with Jimmy G? Maybe, because if they do what a lot of us think they're going to do and draft a developmental quarterback like Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, or who we imagine will take some time, yeah, it could be scary. It could be a little scary for Adams. There's risk there too. Well, look, with Gary Wilson, like Aaron Rodgers hasn't even officially become a Jet yet, so it's not. There's risk with all these guys.
Okay. All right. I was like, there's no way he can be gone. And I just got sniped. I was gonna take Hopkins there, so Fantasy Sleeper somehow sniped me after my pick, and then sniped me before my pick. So I don't even know how it's possible, but he did it.
Reverse the backward snipe. That's impressive.
The backward snipe. I just got.
That's the guy I was gonna take, but didn't.
Exactly. It's like that's the guy I wanted and didn't realize he was on the board. He sniped me, and then I was gonna take Hopkins. I'm like, oh, Hopkins should probably make it back to me. He didn't, but I'm okay with Ridley there too.
Oh, I almost took Hopkins, and I realized Watson was on there, and I'm glad I actually double checked and looked because half PPR give the slight edge to Watson, but this feels more like an end of draft, like round 13, 14 kind of question, but let's go ahead and throw it up there because I don't want to forget about it.
What is this? What is this? Is this real? What is your thoughts on putting peanuts in your Coke and eating them while drinking the Coke? You mean you dip the peanuts in your Coke, you eat the peanuts, and then you take a sip of Coke. I'm not like. Do people do
That's
this?
a new one.
People actually do this?
That's a new apparently.
I
Well, at least we know for sure there's one person who definitely does this.
My thoughts are I've never heard of that and never thought to try it. That's my thoughts.
Yeah. I'm not curious enough to try it, and I've eaten some
No.
interesting things.
I will say, I could never do this now because it's like, I guess as you get older, you get more disgusted by these things. But I did used to, drink Pepsi or Dr. Pepper with red vines, and then eat the red vines coated in Dr. Pepper.
Red vines?
You know the licorice,
Like licorice?
red vines licorice.
Yeah.
So what you do is you would bite off the ends. So now you have a hole in the middle, and then you use
like a
use
straw.
the red vine like a straw.
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
So you're drinking sugar through a sugary straw, and then when you're done, the sugary straw is coated in the sugary drink, and you eat that. So it's just like asking for diabetes.
Yeah, the diabetes special. Diabetes.
Yeah,
Like that.
Thinking
Wilford
about
Brimley.
doing that now is just like ugh, gross, so gross.
All right, so back to football. This actually is a good question, not because I'm probably tomorrow going to put out bold predictions for baseball because the season is starting tomorrow. Bengals, Super Bowl champs. I don't know. That's not super bold. I mean, they almost did it last year. Not last year, but last year, I guess.
They've improved the offensive line, so I don't think that's too bold. I think they definitely are one of the contenders. Definitely.
I mean, if you remove Pat Mahomes from the equation, they could have been champions last year. So who knows?
Yeah.
It's just that Mahomes guy always gets in the way. Team 11. Let's check out some of these teams. Team 11, that would be Ale, who as soon as because I grabbed my spot nice and early, and as soon as I saw who was right in front of me, I was like, great. Like, I know I can get a good guy at 12, but I know that coming back, and of course he did, because I would have probably taken Amari Cooper there. I know he's going to snipe me. I guess he sort of, in a way, maybe reverse snipe me because I should have taken Garrett Wilson instead of Devontae Adams. But
I would have, but
I can't be too predictable. I don't want to, I got to mix things up. So Ailes definitely committing to, I think, to 0 RB. What about Team 12? You think Team 12 goes full 0 RB in this format?
I think they might. I think it depends. Depends who's here for them.
Ale is definitely, he's a black belt drafter.
Yes.
But JMO, he wasn't taken, I hope, right? Not yet. And you're saying this. We don't try not to speak of players before they're drafted, but a lot of people big on him. I don't mind taking a shot, but I don't consider him a league winner right now. So you're going triple Jags. I just now noticed that this is like a stinger team. You have 3 Jaguars, and we're 5 rounds in.
I didn't even realize that until after I took Kirk. I was like, wow, I just went 3 straight Jaguars.
I mean, you could seal the deal and take Trevor Lawrence.
That's very risky in season long. Very risky. If the Jaguars offense is terrible, my team is going down hard.
Yeah, and people ask, all the time, is it okay to stack, 2 players of the same position or have too many players in the same team? Same answer. Depends on the team. It depends. If you have a really good offense, you want as many pieces as possible because they're going to continue to score and it's going to be multiple guys. but you don't want to stack quarterback receiver just to have a stack, because if it's a bad stack, then your team is bad. So Jaguars could be one of those teams. We'll see.
Yeah, but I don't know if you really want 3 players from the same team normally in a season-long format, because, like I said, like even if they have a big offensive output, it doesn't mean like all of them are going to go off. And those
Right.
weeks where they have a really bad offensive output, you're going to probably get crushed.
Definitely some risk. Definitely some risk.
Yeah.
All right. Get slightly spicy. Not going not going 0RB in this format. What round are we in? Round 6. Yeah, why not? So we are starting 3 receivers, or we're not?
Yeah, 3 wide receivers.
All right. Flex. I am starting to like more and more drafting out of the 12 spot. I actually think that's really funny. I think I like somehow summoned Roberto because I used the word spicy, and then like a minute later he showed up. Not even kidding. All right. I don't know if it's super spicy, but I did go with Charbonnet over Gibbs as far as rookie running backs, and over guys like Swift and Mixon. He's my RB1.
I think I'm fine with Charbonnet over Gibbs. I think people are a little too high on Gibbs. But I don't know if I'll take him over.
Okay, well, look, you did it. That's the spicy trio right there. Actually,
I mean, you got to, right? You draft 3 straight Jags, you got to get Trevor Lawrence. Let's just go for it. Let's just go. Let's just go.
4 straight Jaguars. All right. You know what? Deshaun Watson in round 6, that's probably the earliest we've seen him go.
Yeah, that's definitely early for Deshaun.
Earlier than Lamar and Dak. Yeah, it's a little early. So you've already won. He did it. He did it. That's what I say usually when I'm drafting. I'm like, where do I go here? It's just YOLO.
Yeah. YOLO.
Is this an explanation for it?
Yeah. The thing is, I don't even have to watch Red Zone now this year. I just literally just watch Jaguar games. I just watch the Jaguar games. Like, come on, Jaguars.
You know, this was a thing because before Red Zone and all that stuff existed, and you couldn't stream and watch every game, where you only had to just sit and watch local coverage.
Yeah.
You would draft at least 1, if not 2 players from your hometown team, or at least whatever team's in your market, because you know you could watch them, right? If you're playing fantasy and there's only 3 games being shown all Sunday, you did that, right? Is that a thing you did too?
I wasn't playing fantasy football that long ago, but yes, I remember the days of just your local, like you'd have like, it was always Rams and Chargers and Raiders every Sunday. Rams, Chargers, Raiders. Rams, Chargers, Raiders. Every Sunday.
Well, and you're lucky because over there you had more than one team in that market, and you could, the problem is see growing up in Miami, you see the Dolphins game, but then the other games they would show would be the other AFC East teams. They would show right the Bills and the Jets, which are the teams I hate. Right, I don't want to watch those teams because they're the Dolphins' rivals. It's like I don't want to watch the Jets. I hate the Jets, but that's what they would show. So it's like, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's what you do. Like you want to draft those players.
Archaic times back then.
Yeah, this is a long time ago. He likes what Team 5 is cooking. What is Team 5 cooking? Let's see. That's chemo. All right. Eckler, Pierce, I can dig that. Mahomes, pretty solid. So speaking of Team 5, Kittle. I think
he's fine.
That's
he's fine
fair
for
value.
A tight end. Fine for a tight end. Did.
I mean, a top 5 tight end probably should be almost surely
exactly.
a top 5 tight end.
That's like it's like saying like a top 30 running back or something. Maybe that's a little much of a stretch. It's like saying like, oh yeah, he's like a top 25 running back or he's a top 25 wide receiver. It's like, okay, great. But he's probably not going to be like a difference maker week in and week out. He'll have some nice games, of course. But
I will say this, and it's funny how things shift and change and recency bias, of course. He ended the season on a tear, right? He was scoring like two touchdowns. He had a huge end to the season. Do you remember in the beginning of the season when everyone was pissed they drafted George Kittle and people were trading him and wanting to drop him? It was a very up and down season for Kittle. So let's just keep in mind there's going to be ups and downs. And then we don't know if Purdy's going to be ready for the season. We don't know what Trey Lance is going to look like. So I wouldn't feel safe with George Kittle, but I would take him if he was a good enough value.
Yeah, he was great the end of the season until week 17. Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
And look, here's the thing. Personally, I had too much Kittle last year. I took him too many teams. I don't know why. I just did. I think I still had that mindset at early tight end, right? Get a top 3 guy. And then after last year, we realized there's just a top 1 guy now. And so I had too much Kittle last year. I probably won't have Kittle this year because someone will take him way before I feel like he's a good value. Yeah. Well, it could be Sam Darnold. It might not be Lance or Purdy. What if it's Sam Darnold? Then we're going to panic about all the coordinators.
I don't think it matters who it is, to be honest. I think Kittle, it's just, he's a tight end. That's really what it comes down to for me. He's a tight end who's not Travis Kelce, meaning he's not the entire Chiefs offense, basically. He's in a good offense with other good weapons. He's going to have games where he goes off for like 2 touchdowns, and then he's going to have games where he catches 1 pass or 2 passes. He's probably going to have more of those 1 or 2 catch games than he is the 2 touchdown games. Which is why like I'm fine just not taking any of these tight ends right here. Like maybe one of them, like maybe Hawkinson has some crazy like 100 catch season, or maybe Andrews bounces back and scores 15 touchdowns. But if they don't do any of that, if they're just good, they're not going to be difference makers. They aren't. We talked about this last night. They just aren't. So I'd rather just wait.
Yeah, and that would probably go for not just Kittle, but most of the tight ends. Like someone will take them before I feel like it's worth taking them.
Yeah.
So I'll probably wind up waiting. Dalton Schultz, sure, because he will go late. He'll probably get drafted later than last year because instead of the Cowboys, he's with the Texans, even though his target share could go up. But I don't know. Flyer is the best way to put it because, again, rookie quarterback, probably. New head coach. Have no idea what this offense is going to look like and how much they're going to value the tight end. He's on a 1-year deal, right? They're not fully committed to making him the guy there. So Flyer, sure. So I don't know if I would feel great about him as my starting tight end. Marquise, what's up, Marquise? Yeah, definitely get in there. Want you in here. Hollywood. So you're waiting. Okay. You're waiting for the NFL draft to shake out. You don't have to wait. I think it's actually more fun taking the rookies when we have no idea where they're going to go.
Yeah. Because now you can draft them and feel good about it. After the draft, it's gonna be like, ooh, can't draft that guy anymore.
Yeah, sadly after the NFL draft, it kind of squashes not just the players themselves, but the hopes and dreams of all these dynasty and fantasy owners. Where like, because right now I'm imagining Charbonnet is going to be the guy. He's going to be the starter in whatever team, and he's going to get 20 touches, and then he'll be like the third running back for like the Chargers or something.
Exactly.
But I do like taking shots more with rookies in best ball before the NFL draft because that's when you get that value for certain guys.
Yeah, if you're doing best ball drafts, this is the time to be drafting the rookies. Like, because the thing is, if you're wrong, okay, you're wrong. But if you're right, you get huge value on them. Huge value.
Yeah. In best ball, having those 2 or 3 players that break out and turn out to be great values, that's it. Like, you won your league.
That's the thing. Even guys that we think like, oh, not great for them. As the season goes on, things could happen. Like nobody. Well, I guess people were kind of excited about Pacheco, but like, you know, when Pierce went to Houston, nobody liked it. Nobody really liked Algier in Atlanta. But as the season goes on, injuries, things change, and suddenly, so. Yeah, Walker. Nobody liked Walker in Seattle.
Yeah, because he was stuck behind Rashad Penny.
Until he got hurt, which I guess should have been the easiest prediction of all time.
Yeah. Nobody saw that coming.
It is crazy to think, though. Like, if you think back to last year, like, he actually was stuck behind Rashad Penny. Like, Rashad Penny was getting, even when Walker came back from his injury, right after, like, missed a couple weeks or whatever, Rashad Penny was the guy. And then Rashad Penny got hurt, and that was the end of that. But
which is exactly why the Eagles, by taking him, by signing him, basically showed their hand, admitted they're going to draft Bijan.
That they're going to draft Bijan?
Exactly. They didn't sign an actual starting running back for the whole year to replace Sanders. They drafted a guy who's like in case of emergency, we can break him out and burn him for one game. I think they're drafting Bijan.
Well, I will say they did show their hand in the contract they gave him. Basically, it's like hey, you really only make good money if you stay healthy and play and perform.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense. They should, because he never stays healthy.
No, I don't think that'll change. Well, which, by the way, looks like you missed your chance. You didn't take Ingram. He's gone.
I mean, I can't go too crazy.
Is Zay Jones still in Jags? He is, right? You can always take Zay Jones in the last pick.
I think so. I'm not really drafting Zay Jones.
Handcuff. Need a handcuff for Ridley.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of had a run here. Rookie receivers all kind of bunched up. Rookie running back. Okay, so I know we're 4 spots away. So you can't call this a snipe. But I got to do it. I can't let you have your guy every draft.
You're
And I
gonna
was
take him
drafting
already
him.
in the 9th round. You're gonna take him.
Hey, if you go back and check the very first mock drafts we were doing, like in February, I was taking him late, like
It's only
last
because
round
he
pick.
smashed. It's nice that he. I don't even know if people see the thing about pro day is people don't know.
Yeah.
Imagine if he did that at the combine, dude. Like, would people still be like? No, I'm being dead serious here. Would people still be taking like Charbonnet over him? Would they still be taking Gibbs over him? I don't know. I really don't. Like, if he did this at the combine, if he did what he did today at the combine, would people still be taking Gibbs and Charbonnet over him?
I mean, with Charbonnet, it would be close. It would be close. Gibbs, yeah, Gibbs, Alabama, getting all the hype. Gibbs would still be the number 2 guy.
I mean, do you want the
All right.
4.36, 33-inch, 33-inch vert, 199-pound running back? Or do you want the 4.34, 41-inch vert, 217-pound running back? Like, hey, Gibbs is fast. Cool. He's also 199 pounds. And he did not run between the tackles. And he had four, 1, 2, 3, 4 goal line carries the entire year last year. He's never going to get you double-digit touchdowns. He's just never going to. He's not. He's not going to be a double-digit unless he breaks off like 10 long runs.
Yeah, and I will say that's part of the reason too, is knowing this was half PPR. That does ding a guy like Gibbs a little bit because pass catching, you figure that's more of his specialty. I feel Charbonnet has a chance to be more kind of a balanced running back. I know. I had to. I waited. I had to strike now.
I just think, I don't know, man. I think Gibbs is like, look, you get him the ball in space. He'll be a great pass catcher. But I just don't see, like, man, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll be wrong on Gibbs. I feel like I'm the only, like, I feel like everybody's crazy. Like, everybody just, you know what this, okay, I don't want to say, like, this is what it feels like exactly to me because I think Gibbs is better than Spiller. But this feels a lot like Isaiah Spiller last year. Everybody just had Isaiah Spiller as the clear number 3 running back, right below Walker and Brees. Spiller's number 3, because why? Look what he does when he catches the ball. Look what he does in space. That's great. That's against college players. Okay? Like, most of the guys that Gibbs is running, when he runs those outside runs and he turns the corner, most of those guys aren't in the NFL. Most of those edge linemen, most of those linebackers, they're not in the NFL now because they aren't good enough and they aren't fast enough. He's not going to be able to just run outside over and over again like he did at Bama. He's not going to get goal line carries. He's going to need 70-plus catches. I don't know, man. I think I'm really... we'll see what happens in the draft, but I have a feeling it's going to be like it's going to be like a third round, and people are like, is there like some off the field stuff we don't know about Jahmyr Gibbs that we haven't heard about? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know. We'll see. Appreciate it.
And then
it's not even haterade. It's literally looking at a guy who's 199 pounds, did not run between the tackles at Bama, and when he did, he wasn't very good at it. 4 goal line carries the whole year. 4. That means Nick Saban and Bama was like, this guy cannot run between the tackles. He has no power. Like, he's not a strong guy. He can't. We don't trust him at the goal line. We're not going to use him at the goal line. He's certainly not going to get that at the NFL level where everybody's bigger and faster and stronger. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, and like these people saying Alvin Kamara, like, oh, Alvin Kamara. It's like, yeah, okay, sure. When you watch him run, he does look like Alvin Kamara. He's smooth. He kind of glides. I'll give him all that. But Alvin Kamara was 215 pounds, not 199.
I love which, by the way, Nate, you realize you basically just like threw a match onto the to the fire, like add some gasoline to it with that comment. All right, no,
I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this too. Like, oh, if he lands at KC, people are going to lose their minds. Just like they did with Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Wow. I'm not falling for that. I know that.
Now, but, I will say, like, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, ran like a 4.6 or something. But I'm just saying, like, it's not like Patrick Mahomes is going to dump it off to Jahmyr Gibbs 80 times, 100 times like Austin Eckler. I don't even know if the Chiefs will be a great spot for him.
And it's funny because you say, and I think that that's a good comparison as far as situation, Isaiah Spiller, because everyone was all crazy about him. One of the better running backs in this class. He plays in the SEC. Look at the competition he faced. Like, that's like the NFL. That's what people say. SEC school, Alabama, he faced against the toughest company. He also had the best offensive line and quarterback and, everything in his favor. There's why a lot of Alabama running backs flop in the NFL. So, anyways.
Spiller,
I don't hate
Spiller
Gibbs.
Also actually ran the ball between the tackles at Bama. Like, he actually was a running back at Alabama. Jahmyr Gibbs was not a he lined up a running back, but every run was like, okay, sweep to the left, sweep to the right, pitch to the left, pitch to the right. Like, you can't do that in the NFL. You can't just run sweeps and pitches and expect to be able to get the edge every single time in the NFL. I mean, look, there's gonna be weeks. There's gonna be like a week where he rips off a long run or something, and everybody's gonna say, see. And they're going to ignore the other weeks where it's like, yeah, okay, well, he got 8 carries and he caught 3 passes.
Yeah, no, you're still going to draft and talk still at the same time.
Yeah, this is where it gets, this is what always derails the rants.
Marco, you got 10 seconds left, so make your pick. I would just say that's funny because Jahmyr Gibbs, you were saying, those players, even Spiller and Rashad White, we think of as, not big backs, more like pass catching guys. They're both 6 feet, like about 215. Jahmyr Gibbs is 5'9", 199.
That's what people okay, look. Yes, there are people like Jamal Charles who had successful NFL careers that were smaller. But there's not a lot of them. And again, My concerns isn't just the size. If he was like 199 pounds, but he was a workhorse at Bama, and he was getting goal line work, and he was doing all that stuff, I wouldn't worry about it nearly as much. But he wasn't. He averaged not 12 carries per game, 12 touches per game in college for Alabama. The difference between college, even for Bama and the pros, is significant because even Bama, like how many, like, okay, like a team like Georgia, right? How many defensive players did they send to the NFL this year? Or will they send to the NFL this year?
You mean like in the
7?
first round alone, or?
Yeah, but what I mean is like, I don't know, how many defensive players will they send to the NFL total? 6, 7?
Yeah, it will be several from this year's class for sure.
Guess what? When you're on the NFL field, there's 11 defenders that are NFL caliber. All 11 of them. And if one of them go down, the one who comes in is also NFL caliber. Like, every single player you're playing. You don't get those, like, soft matchups against defenses that don't have any NFL players that you get
unless you play the Lions.
Yeah. But you know what I mean?
I don't know if they're all NFL.
It's such a step up. Like, I don't know. I just, man, I cannot believe people are just like so in on Gibbs like this. And I'm not like completely out on him. He's not like, I'm not like, oh, I'm not like, ah. But just to be like clearly like, oh, clearly he's number 2 behind Bijan for a guy that just, I don't know. Maybe I'm the crazy person. Maybe I'm the crazy one because I seem to be the only one who feels this way. So maybe I'm actually the crazy person.
You're definitely not the only one who feels that way. And I know that because I've seen it. Like you mentioned that post somebody said about how he's only had 4 goal line carries. I saw that. Some people are posting the same thing. Like he's not going to run between the tackles. He's not going to get the goal line carries. So it's more of a minority for sure. But that's what happens when you come out of Bama and the SEC. Everyone just assumes you're pro ready. You're going to go in there and you're going to, dominate. But, that's not how it always works out. All right, let's see what else we missed here.
So I think Flacco just showed up. So he says, "I'm all in on Jax, but I don't hate it." That was a bit by accident, and then kind of like having some fun with it. So
yeah,
but
you are definitely in on Jack because you've been taking Ridley a lot in the mocks. If you don't get him, usually you'll take Kirk if he falls, or you'll take Kirk instead of Ridley. And I know you're high on Trevor Lawrence too, so you're kind of all in. Like you're not going to draft a team like that if it wasn't a mock, obviously, but he's not wrong.
Yeah, the one I think the one the pick I would have done over is I would have taken Metcalf over Etienne. I didn't realize Metcalf was still on the board, so.
Well, and to be clear, I'm in on Trevor Lawrence. I'm fine with Christian Kirk. Calvin Ridley, I think, is going to be a little overdrafted. Evan Ingram, I think, is a good value. And I'm out on Etienne. That's just me. And you did make a pick here that does deserve mention. I'm big on Jalen Hyatt. I don't think he even needs to go to the Chiefs. I think he's just going to be a stud. He's not going to go that late, though. He won't make it to 31. There's no way.
Yeah. Wide receivers tend to go earlier than running backs, but we'll see. But I like Hyatt. I definitely like Hyatt.
And I must have missed this. Did somebody take... Oh, yeah. Chemo.
We're still drafting Tank Dell after the combine? Like...
I mean, if it's like you get points for kick return yardage, maybe.
Like at least Gibbs and Devin Ashane put up like blazing fast 40 times. Tank Dell didn't even like, people were all like, oh, he's so twitchy, he's so fast, and then he goes out the combine. It's like, ooh, okay, now what? Now what do we do with him? Now what do we do?
I'll do it.
Nate's saying you're echoing, and somebody said my audio was low. I guess we're having audio issues tonight.
That's why we need a studio, professional studio.
How's that? I turned on. Did that fix anything, guys? I changed the setting. I don't know if that fixed anything. Yeah, we definitely need to set a studio. Let me know if that fixed something. I toggled something on.
All right. Any better? Nate's our tech guy. But he says, okay, Anthony says better.
All right. Much better. Okay, good. All right, good.
Well, whatever you did, do it again tomorrow.
And I want to bring this up because I know Young Money is passionate about this. He even commented on the video that we don't have Javonte as a top 12 dynasty running back. Why not? Why don't we have Javonte as a top 12 dynasty running back?
He's hurt.
Well, so is Breece Hall, and we have him. Well, you have him top 2. I have him top 3.
Okay. Well, the difference between those two guys, Breece Hall was the number 1 running back in his class. Javonte was the number 2, but also not like the surefire. Like, yeah, I really like him number 2. Kind of like, well, I guess he's the second best running back in this class, number 2. But also, Breece Hall injured. It wasn't, I mean, I know this sounds weird. It wasn't as severe, but it's a still knee injury, but Javonte tore multiple ligaments. They've already said they're worried that he's not even going to be ready till maybe midway through the season. I mean, so you have possibly a lost season for him. Like, we don't think Brees Hall is going to be amazing next year, but he'll at least be out there. Javonte, who knows how much he'll be out there, if he's even going to be serviceable. And Brees Hall is younger. So age, injury, basically. And I think Brees Hall is better anyways.
Yeah, here's my take on Javonte, and he's going to be in an upcoming video, and I know I know people are going to be like, you're an idiot. But here's my thing with Javonte. He's going to turn 23 in April. And I do think this is going to be a lost season for him. So now you're banking on age 24 Javonte, who hasn't done anything yet. What has he done? Like, he hasn't done anything to prove that he's this like stud elite running back. And but like Pierre said, I liked Javonte in that class, but I liked him because of the class. Like, if he was in this year's class, where would Javonte be? Like, maybe RB 5-ish, 4-ish, 5-ish, somewhere in there, maybe. I don't know. Last year, he's probably RB maybe 3 behind Brees and Walker. So, and then you also have to factor in, you got a whole new staff there now. I still feel like it's a possibility that they draft a good running back in this draft class, and that there's no guarantee by his age 24 season, he's still the main guy in Denver, if he was even the main guy. So I feel like Javonte is one of these guys that like has all this hype behind him with no results. Where are the results?
Yeah.
Where are the results?
And that's exactly what I've been saying is, you know what? I don't want Javonte Williams. I want whoever Denver settles on as being their pass catching running back this year. Whoever winds up being, don't think it's going to be Chase Edmonds. Oh, wait, they already cut him. So it's not Chase Edmonds. So whoever it is, that's what I want. And again, new coaching staff, that's not good for an incumbent running back who happens to already be hurt. But anyways, no surprise, Young Money disagrees.
I mean, okay. I don't want to go on a huge Javonte Williams rant here, but the guy ran a 4.6 240 at 212 pounds. It's not like he put up some, incredible, athletic testing. I remember going into that year. That was the year. Who was the RB1 that year? Who was the clear? That was the Najee Etienne year, right? That was that draft class, right?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just laughing. What would we do without Nate's comments? I think he means Gibbs, not Biggs, but Gibbs.
Yeah. Well, I don't have Gibbs as the RB2, so anyway, I won't tell you I have Gibbs because I certainly don't want to get on that argument. But my point being, like, Javonte was the RB3 in that class, but he was way behind Najee and Etienne for me. He was just the next best.
Yes.
I mean, Michael Carter was like RB4 in that class. Like, that's how big. Like, that class was. There was nothing after Najee and Etienne, really. And then,
it was a weak class.
And look, I liked Javonte, and I do like Javonte, but he never pulled away from Melvin Gordon as a rookie. Lost year last year, probably a lost year this year. A whole new staff, gonna be 24. No way I could put him in my top 12 dynasty. And I mean, I won't spoil it. But you can watch and get angry and thumb down the video and comment when I do it, when it comes out.
Yeah, don't do the thumbs down thing, but that's okay. You can leave an angry comment. All right. Let's get to these teams now because I just realized the draft is over. Let's start with Sam at the 1 spot. No surprise, Justin Jefferson. Derrick Henry at the 212. Someone earlier mentioned that. That's kind of crazy he fell that low, especially if it's a half PPR. Kind of agree.
Yeah, I was debating him over Jacobs, honestly.
Look, I'm until he falls apart, if that ever does happen, I have no reason not to put Derrick Henry as a stud running back. So anyways, Derrick Henry there, Devontae Smith, Cam Akers, JSN, Lamar Jackson, Kadarius Toney sniped you on Evan Ingram, got Cortland Sutton, Perrine, Chase Brown, Tyjae Spears, a couple of rookies, and John Mechie. So drafting from the one has been a cheat code. Did it work tonight?
Yeah, I mean,
The one thing I'll say is I like your team and your players. I feel like some of them were a little early, and I get picking at the turns, like a guy's not going to come back to you, but I feel like almost everybody in the middle was almost like a round too early.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like you could have probably waited and still got Akers and Jackson Smith. Could have gotten some other guys there. So I like the first 3 picks a lot. I mean, I like Henry Smith at the turn. That's great. Lamar, good value. I like Ingram. I like some of those guys you took late. I feel like Akers and Jackson Smith, yeah, probably could have got them a little bit later and maybe got some guys, a little more established. Like maybe you could have taken Kirk so I didn't get roped into 4 Jaguars.
Right. So again, I not like I don't like I like, of course, I like Akers, I like Lamar, but yeah, it was just good players, but it's just not great value, but just a good team overall. Okay, so Keith, CMC, Higgins, Chubb, Hollywood, Fields, Burks, Bateman, Jacoby, Pacheco and Foreman at running back, Osborne, and 2 tight ends. Interesting.
The Njoku Taysom Hill stack.
Taysom Hill, unless you're using it as
a stack that is, but
like a utility. Is he like your utility player?
I guess Taysom Hill as like a flex. Are we gonna get the he has more flex value than most of the guys here argument again? Maybe for that 1 week where he scores 4 touchdowns, but he'll probably be on your bench that week, so it won't matter. I will say I did kind of like Taysom Hill before they signed Jamal Williams, because I was like, well, if Alvin Kamara is suspended and they don't really bring in anybody of significance, Taysom Hill may get quite a bit of run out of the backfield early in the season, but now he probably won't. So I don't know. I don't like, okay, it's your last pick, whatever.
Yeah, last week, I'm not going to judge a team on your last pick.
Yeah.
And yes, he says flex.
Yeah, we'll see. I think people said that last year too, and he wasn't even like a tight. Like people weren't even starting him at tight end anymore, let alone his flex. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm fine with like the first 5 picks. I don't know, Burks, Bateman feels maybe a little early to me, but then I like the rest of your draft up to Taysom. So I think it's just the Burks, Bateman picks that I feel are a little early. But I think overall it's a solid draft. I don't think it's as bad as you think.
Yeah, no, he's saying he didn't love his draft. I think it's fine. Don't think I didn't notice, though. Another Chubb pick here. You're slowly becoming a Chubb stan.
Right? This is like every draft now.
Every draft. Keep the Chubb stan. All right, next, again, Katie Jartanari. Almost sure I'm saying that right. Jamar Chase, Debo in round 2. Najee in round 3. Drake London. And then Aaron Jones, James Conner, Mooney, B-Rob, Zay Flowers, Penny, Prescott, Schultz, Beckham.
Dak Prescott in the 11th round. Wow.
That's he fell. And Tua got taken before him. Watson got taken way early. So a little unusual with the quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's great value there. Chase, Debo, Najee. I mean, I'll say, again, look, I'm wrong sometimes, so maybe I'll be wrong on Debo. Maybe he'll bounce back, but I really did not like the way Debo was used last year. I think there's guys like Higgins and Devonta Smith I would take over him, but it's okay. Najee there's good. London like that. Jones, Connor, Mooney. I think this is a solid team. Definitely a solid team.
Yeah, got no issues. Good value, of course, on Prescott, and I think Schultz is fine. Nothing to complain about with running back. Yeah, pretty solid. I think since actually, no, I'll take that back. I think you have enough upside at wide receiver because Debo, even though, I personally also would take Higgins or Smith over Debo. I think you still have that weekly upside with guys like him and Chase, and I do like London as a wide receiver 3, so I think you're pretty good. Yeah. And then we have Henke, team 4. Somebody threw a mention about team 4 here. Where was it?
Yeah, I'm wondering. Like, I keep seeing somebody saying they like team 4. I'm wondering. So, are we just going to assume that Paul is Henke, or does he really like team 4? Or does he really like team 4? Or is he actually is Paul Henke's burner account?
Let's see. Well, it could be my account because you got Tyreek Hill and Waddle. You got the Dolphins duo, and then you got Judy and Evans. Okay, I really like the first 2 receivers. I don't love the last 2 receivers, but let's keep going. Let's got Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, Miles Sanders, Wilson and Robinson, and then Pitts at tight end and Tua at quarterback. Okay, I promise this is not my burner account. I did not draft.
I got the Jag stack. He got the Dolphin stack. He got Jeff Wilson, Tua, Waddle, and Hill. I mean, just missed Mostert. Did he get sniped on? Was Mostert drafted? Like, why didn't you draft Mostert over James Robinson? You could really have the Dolphin stack. Oh, he did get drafted. Oh, okay, Ale took Mostert. Never mind. You couldn't do it. You got sniped on Mostert. I love your first 2 receivers. I'm okay with Judy where you took them. I don't know. I don't see it for Evans. Maybe Evans will get traded to the Jets or something. It'll save his fantasy value. But as of right now, with Baker Mayfield and or Kyle Trask, I'm kind of out on Evans. But I like where you got Pitts. I think Tua's fine there. I personally would go Dak over Tua, but I like Tua as well. So running backs, yeah, like Dalvin in the 4th. Sanders, I don't know. Those guys are just, I don't know. Maybe I probably would have liked to seen a wide receiver there with some more upside, and then maybe, the running backs a little later.
Actually, I would have liked it better if you had taken London in round 4, and then even if let's say Cook is gone, you take Pierce in round 5. Nah, maybe it doesn't look like a big difference, but yeah, I think I do like the receivers better than the running backs. This team is not I know this is going to be weird. It's not my favorite. I do love the receivers and the quarterback, but yeah. Chemo, team 5, Eckler, Sun God, Mahomes, Ayuk, and then went with Pierce, Algier, Jamal Williams. Talk a lot about Kittle tonight. So ended with basically a bunch of rookie receivers and a rookie running back. I mean, I like taking rookies now, but I don't know that I like having a rookie that's one of those late round rookies as my wide receiver 3. So, I mean, what do you think? Is this team going to be hurting at the flex?
Well, I think it'll be okay at the flex. I think the wide receiver 3 is certainly going to be an issue unless one of those rookies breaks out, or Shaheed breaks out, and they need to break out early because it is a 3 wide receiver league. But I mean, I like the players they got. I like where they got them. Like, I feel like there's a lot of good value on this team. I don't feel like there's really any reaches. But yeah, I would have liked to seen, maybe a wide receiver over Algier or Jamal. Probably over Jamal, because I just feel like Jamal, like, last year has to be the best case scenario Jamal could ever have. He's not going to come close to that in New Orleans. He's not going to score 17 one-yard touchdowns again, probably. So I think I probably would have preferred, like, a wide receiver like Sutton, Myers. Now it's another rookie with Flowers, but just another wide receiver there because you do need to start 3.
And I get the thing with Kittle. This is what I did in a couple leagues last year, like I mentioned. You look at the wide receiver, you're like, okay, but nobody's really, you're not crazy about any of them. You're like, I can get the same kind of guy on the way back. And so he's like, well, I'll just take one of the top guys in Kittle. And that doesn't really always work out. Like, you might as well take a more high upside receiver and hope that he pans out, and then take another wide receiver and then just wait on tight end. Like, trust me, that's usually what works out better. Stomach worm. Barkley, Pollard. Obviously not worried about Barkley. Taking him 6th overall. Josh Allen, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, JMO, Waller, Herbert, Sky Moore. There's Javante, Wandale, Michael Thomas, and Adam Thielen. I'm just gonna say
How about that finish? We got
my favorite team.
We got a torn ACL. We got a toe. We got a toe that was injured in like week 4 and still hasn't healed. There's a shock. And then we got a guy who's probably should retire. Honestly, hasn't caught like more than 700 yards in 2 straight seasons. That's an interesting finish. And Waller very early here. I'm okay with the Barkley Pollard start, especially in half PPR. Josh Allen fine, Keenan McLaurin fine, even Jameson Williams fine. I think from Waller on is kind of where it loses me.
Yep, that's exactly looking at it. I actually think your first 6 picks were solid, and then it kind of unraveled. Just a bunch of guys I kind of want no part of, but that's just me. Joe took CeeDee Lamb, Olave, Ramondre, Dobbins, Pickens, Watson, Dotson, Goddard, Madison, DPJ, McKinnon, Zay Jones, and Khalil Shakir. All right, what do you think?
I mean, that feels early for Watson, but when I look at the team, I feel like it's a good team. You got Lamb, Olave, Stevenson, and Dobbins. Pickens, a high weekly upside wide receiver 3. Then you got shots on guys like Dotson, Peoples-Jones, Zay Jones, and Shakir, who I'm going to talk about him in an upcoming video. And then, Madison. Maybe you could have used a little more running back depth here, but I think even with the Watson early pick, I like this team. I like it.
Yeah, I think this is a good balance. And I like that you have guys that you are pretty confident are going to get a ton of touches. Both the running backs and those wide receivers should be high target, kind of target hogs. And Dotson, maybe not so much, but he has that weekly upside. I like Goddard there. Yeah, it's pretty solid. And then there's your team. You got Kupp. You went Jacobs and Etienne. Okay, it's basically the Jaguars plus a couple other guys, right?
Yeah.
No, but seriously. Okay, so you got Jacobs, Etienne, and Swift, and then you got Miller. I didn't even notice this. You took Leonard Fournette.
That was a pick where I was about to time out. He was just there, and I just took him. Whatever.
That was probably somewhere in the middle of the Gibbs rant, I'm guessing. Somewhere during the Gibbs rant.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was in the middle of the Gibbs Javante rant or something. One of those rants, yes.
All right. So look, if the Jags go off on offense, you're good. Swift, he's your RB3. I think that's good. I like Miller too. I love Hyatt. I'm still in on Elijah Moore, so yeah, I think it's good. Fantasy sleeper. Took Kelsey, took Kenneth Walker, reverse sniped you on DK. Hopkins, legit sniped you on Hopkins, Burrow, and then, well, there you go. There's Gibbs. This team is a flop.
No. I just don't understand, like, how are we taking, like, Pacheco? Well, no, like, how are we taking, like, Algier, Miles Sanders, even James Conner, like over Mixon right now? How is Mixon falling this far? I couldn't believe like Swift and Mixon were still on the board when I took Swift. But anyways.
Yeah, well, so do you think the Mixon pick makes up for the Gibbs pick?
I think the Gibbs pick is okay. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, I think, again, this is going to be another team because you start 3 wide receivers. Metcalf, Hopkins, very good, but now Addison, Lazard, Palmer, or Gallup are your wide receiver 3. My guess is it's going to have to be Addison, so you're going to need Addison to land somewhere good and get off to a great start, or you're going to be really struggling at that wide receiver 3 spot.
Yeah, that's the thing. And those receivers at the end, Lazard, he's probably not going to be startable. Palmer, only if there's an injury. And Gallup, who knows if ever again. So that's the only issue I have. In all seriousness, I think a running back, you'll be fine, because Mixon or Gibbs, one of those guys should come through. And I actually like Bigsby a lot. But yeah, wide receiver depth, that's kind of where you're lacking. Nate Dogg went with JT and Bijan. And then at wide receiver, here's where we judge. Pittman as your wide receiver 1. Moore as your wide receiver 2. Deontay, Godwin, Quentin Johnson, Juju. So what do you think of that wide receiver group, knowing he's got the 2 stud running backs in a half PPR format?
Yeah, it's not that I don't like these wide receivers, although, I mean, I don't love Godwin right now. It's that I would love to see you take more wide receivers with more weekly upside. Like Cooper, who went right after Pittman, or, Hopkins, or even like Ayuk or Drake London or Hollywood. Just some guys, because you already have those. You figure with JT and Bijan, you're going to have a very high weekly floor from those 2 guys, probably, because running backs tend to have higher floors because they get more touches. So I would like to see like a bunch of wide receivers with like that week-breaking upside. And I just don't like I like Deontay this year. I like Johnston. I like DJ Moore. I like Pittman if they get a quarterback. But man, like I would just like to see some guys with, more of a ceiling at wide receiver.
Agree. Wide receivers are solid, but safe. Kind of safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Ale, did he dominate as usual in this draft? Went 0 RB. This we can call a 0 RB team. So Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, Mari Cooper, Mike Williams. Yeah, I think that's the best wide receiver group. But let's see about the running backs. Went Herbert and Hawk. So just that there. James Cook, Rashad White, Eli Mitchell once again, Raheem Mostert, Gainwell, and Singletary. Are those running backs good enough for this build?
I mean, I say it almost every time we grade an Ale team. It's always going to look terrible coming out of the draft. You're going to look at it and you're going to say, "Oh my gosh, those wide receivers!" Right? Like, okay, those wide receivers can win him weeks by themselves, right? And then he's got Herbert and he's got Hawkinson. Then you look at the running backs and you're going to say, "Ooh, what are you going to do with those running backs?" But that's always how your running back team is. So it's always impossible to say, unless you get lucky and maybe if like Mixon had fallen to him, which he almost did, and he could have had Mixon as his RB1 on this team or something like that, or a running back where you feel fairly good about. But yeah, it's if even one of those running backs hit, this team is going to be stacked.
Yep. That's exactly it. Those picks that kind of look like wasted picks might not be. But I like it. I like the build because you're so good everywhere else. You know, one good pickup on waivers for running back this year, you're good. All right.
Exactly.
And then I went A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Christian Watson, and then Lockett with Jalen Hurts in the mix. My running backs are Charbonnet, Monty, Dillon, Damian Harris, and Izzy. So I guess you can call it sort of a modified 0 RB.
I mean, I like this team too. Obviously, your wide receivers aren't quite as good as Ailes, but they're pretty close. I mean, those are pretty good. A.J. Brown, Adams, Watson, and Lockett with Nico and I'll be honest, I don't even know who that rookie is that you took at the last one. That's going deep there. That's going deep. You got good wide receivers with Charbonnet, Monty, Dillon, Damian Harris, Izzy. I feel like you can at least have one or two good running backs. You got Hurts. You got Freiermuth. I think that's a really good team. I think you might be slightly ahead of Ale just because I feel like I don't feel like your wide receivers are that far behind him, but I feel like your running backs are better and your quarterback is better.
And well, if Charbonnet does wind up being kind of thank you, I appreciate that. I think I'm team 12. Yeah, I feel good about the Monty pick in this build. Charbonnet, who knows? But yeah, so I got Hurts to stack with A.J. Brown as opposed to getting the receiver a little earlier, but I feel pretty good about it. All right, guys. So that's it. We'll do this again pretty soon. I don't know, maybe 24 hours from now?
24 hours from now. Don't forget, if you're in the Discord and you're subscribed to flockfantasy.com/endgame, get the link early. We were half full tonight. It might be even more tomorrow. We'll see.
All right, guys. We'll see you in there. Hopefully, we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks, as always, for joining. Check out the link down below. See what it's all about.